Hi, welcome back to my channel. I've been very kindly tagged by a fellow booktuber, John from Hey Y'all Listen Up, and he tagged me in the anything but books tag. I have never heard of this tag before, and I went through the questions and it sounds so cool. I thought I'll answer them today. You know how much I love questions about all the topics. So let's jump into it. Name a cartoon or cartoons that you love. I had to think about it for a little bit because I used to be a cartoon hoe. I used to watch everything that was out, and I had my favorites. Like, I would only binge and only follow the ones that I was like really invested in. And I have an app on my phone that's called TV Time, I think it's called. Yeah, TV Time, and you can basically mark all the TV shows that you've ever seen, cartoons, drama, anything. So I went through and I just had a look at which ones I've like seen and marked as seen, and I was like, all of those are so like one of my favorites. So I have quite a few, so bear with me. I would probably say some of my like top favorites would probably be the Witch series, about these 5 girls that have like magical powers. I love that show. It has 2 seasons. I think it's like 20 episodes each, maybe. I used to religiously watch it, and I think there are some episodes on YouTube. Don't quote me on that. It's owned by Disney, so I'm surprised it's not on Disney Plus. Disney, what's up? I love anything to do with that. I had the dolls, I had the comics, I had the magazines. I basically was Witch obsessed. My other super duper favorite was Rocco's Modern Life, which I feel like now as an adult looking back, it was such a like a depressing real life adult story, which was really funny because it was one of my favorites. I just remember watching it and I was like, oh, I can really relate to Rocco, and I was like, what is wrong with me? I love that show. It's genuinely fantastic. It tackles everyday problems from obviously, I don't remember, he's not a raccoon, he's like a kangaroo, and he has like a best friend who is, I think, a cow? Oh my god, it's brilliant. If you haven't seen it, please go and watch it.
Hi, editing me here. I just wanted to jump in and say that how could I have forgotten the best show ever, Jackie Chan Adventures? It was so much fun. Jackie Chan, you know, the actor, take on the role of himself in the world where there is magical powers that are given through these 12 horoscope stones of Chinese horoscope, and it was so much fun. Jade was my favorite character. Oh my god, please watch.
And another like super duper favorite is Totally Spies. These 3 girls who have been like recruited, and they're like spies, basically like Charlie's Angels, but animated, I guess. Sam was my favorite. Don't come at me. I think they were all like such a great trio. They are available on YouTube as well. I'll see if I can leave a link. I really enjoyed watching them as a kid, and it made me feel very empowered and excited to kind of explore the world in a different way. Obviously, I'm not gonna go and like save someone's life because I don't have those skills, but you know, I can try. I'm just gonna run quickly through some of the ones that I've really enjoyed. Cat Dog, oh my god, classic. Always gonna be a question, how do they go to the toilet? Danny Phantom, oh my god, love that show. Life with Louie, that was, oh, such a nostalgic, I think it's set in Canada or something? Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was such a, it's like animation and like real life character. So the character who plays, or the actor who plays Louis, like his life was reflected. It was just so weird. I don't know. Angry Beavers, Cow and Chicken, DuckTales. Oh, DuckTales. Woo! I love that show too. I sing it all the time. DuckTales. All the iterations of Scooby-Doo. I don't think I've watched all of them, but some of the older ones definitely. Rugrats? Who can forget Rugrats? Though they went on so many different like adventures, I was like really confused. And I also owned the Game Boy game of the Rugrats. It was epic. Courage the Cowardly Dog? Oh my goodness. That show terrified me, but not enough for me to stop watching. And there was a really cool game on Cartoon Network website at the time, and you basically had to do this whole storyline to find a remote control and then the keys to the car and like fix the electricity. I was so dumb. I had to like look it up, but it was so much fun. It's terrifying though. Wild Thornberries? Oh, it just brings me all the feels back. I love that show as well. Hey Arnold. Oh, Helga. Oh my goodness, that show, it was so phenomenal because I felt like as a kid watching that was like, it felt like it was such an inclusive show. It had so many different characters and it was so fun. The movie was good as well. Tutenstein, oh my goodness, it was so fun and it brought like the Egyptian mythology into it. Absolutely loved it. And of course, how can I forget that one particular version of Spider-Man where he was just like a hunk, right? And the whole storyline with Mary Jane and how then he got transported into like a different parallel universe right at like the wrong time. I was shook. That moment basically defined my childhood. I need to have a look what it was, which one in particular that was, because it was everything. I had to run home and watch it because otherwise I would just never make it. I didn't mention any anime in this one because it said cartoons. I don't think calling anime cartoons is like the best, so might make another video talking about my favorite anime. I haven't watched many, but the ones that I've seen are basically like the top favorites. Number 2, what's your favorite song right now? Ooh, that's really difficult. I do go through stages of just listening to one particular song at a time, but at the moment I've been re-listening to all the songs by Taylor Swift because she released Folklore. I haven't actually listened to Folklore through all the way yet, but I've been doing this challenge on Instagram, on my personal Instagram, you can't see it. It's basically 31 days and every single day you have a prompt to post your favorite Taylor Swift song, and I've been doing that, so basically I have a favorite song every day depending on that. I think today, literally before filming this, it was the best day and it's just very reminiscent, and I just, every time I listen to it I remember my dad, my family, and it just makes me feel very emotional. Choir. Number 3, what could you do for hours that isn't reading? You might know my favorite, second favorite, you know, questionable hobby in the world is playing video games. I'm a gamer. I love playing video games. I could just spend 12, 14, 16 hours without basically leaving the couch and be happy. Sometimes it like strains your eyes and you feel like you can't see anything anymore, but it's just the exhilaration of like that kind of medium and the storytelling always just excites me, and I just love playing. I haven't played for a few days, and I've actually recently been replaying Grand Theft Auto 5, not from beginning, but like I had like a save file and I just went back to it. And you know, when you've been really like stressed at work, you just want to drive around and just do random stuff, and that's what GTA does, and I can't not play it. 4. What is something you love to do that your followers would be surprised by? Ooh. That is very specific, isn't it? I think there's this one weird thing that I do. I've kind of stopped it, so it's not, might not be a continuous thing, but I loved getting magazines, clicking through them, and tearing out the favorite pictures or articles or something that caught my eye, and then like storing it in a box. And usually then I would like go back and maybe like photograph it or cut it out and put it into like a notebook or something. But basically I like visual inspiration, visual kind of cues to inspire me. I'm very fascinated by photography and design. Not something that maybe I'm like talented at, but I'm really curious and seeing, and it's almost like been trained, or I've trained myself to do, is when, even like when I scroll on Instagram, when you flick through a magazine, your eyes will stop on something that you like. So you can scroll, then you stop and you're like, that's the thing that I want to look at, and that's the thing that will inspire me and I want to save for later. It's like there's this really complete side tangent, but when you go into a restaurant and you're given a menu, this is like the set menu, and you're going to choose every single meal to just try and see what they are in one go. You choose the one that you want to try that day. So when you go into a museum, why would you look at every single painting if they might not speak to you? So you would choose 1 or 2 or 3 or 5, however many you can, and look and focus on those particular paintings so you can get more out of those few select ones than looking at everything at the same time. I just find that's a very fascinating way of thinking and looking at it. So it's, I think, how my bookshelves are so curated. Well, not really, but in that sense that I only focus and buy and read the titles that interest me in that particular moment. So maybe it's very limiting in that sense, but I don't think it is. And of course, you can always expand what you're doing and what you're reading and find new things to look at. But I think they're inside of us. You know what appeals to you, so you always kind of go back to that. I hope it makes sense. What is your favorite unnecessarily specific thing to learn about? This could be to do with books or something. Ooh, so I think since being out of school for almost a decade next year, I have actually lost interest in learning that much. It sounds terrible, but I find it difficult to find a topic and then go out and research everything about it. I'm very much quite a shallow researcher. I will look into something for like 5 minutes and that's kind of enough. I'm just thinking, has there been a topic recently that I've been like really, really interested in? I think one of the few things that I try and usually tend to look into is how an adaptation of a book usually compares back to that book, so a film or a movie, and with the changes they made from the original text, even if I haven't read the book. I find it really fascinating. I think that really showcases recently when I watched The Umbrella Academy 2, and I've read the graphic novels, but then I wanted to just explore a little bit more of the differences between the show and the graphic novel, because obviously I might not remember all the details, and that has been quite interesting. I think I read like 2 or 3 articles and really like dived into it and tried to see the difference. I think I really enjoyed that. What is something unusual you know how to do? I don't know, do I do anything unusual? Do I have anything unusual that I do? Been trying to teach myself to be ambidextrous? I don't know if it's a thing. Yeah, I hurt my wrist a while back, so I couldn't really do anything with my right hand, so I was like, let's try. I've never really used my left hand for much, so I've been trying to do that. I can't write with both hands, but I can do most tasks using my left hand only, which I couldn't do before. Maybe I wasn't like thinking, it wasn't like my first initial instinct. So name something you've made in the last year. I'm currently working on a scarf, but I've been working on that scarf for the last, I think I went before lockdown, so about 6 months. It's not my best scarf. I've made scarves before. I love knitting back in the day, but I haven't done it much. It doesn't bring me the same joy it used to, so I'm not doing it as much. I've stopped journaling really. I used to journal whenever I had like inspiration, so I would like have I would like to do a video on that, show you a flip through of my journal, because it's quite different from like your standard bullet journaling or like a diary format. So I think I've mentioned it in my unhaul video that I did a diamond art piece, so I'm still about 30% in. I'll see if I can insert like a picture of it. So it's a starry night. It's all done by putting little diamond pieces on the top of it, and I think it's all unsticking a little bit at the moment because I've stopped doing it because I've run out of space and time. But I would love to finish that. What is your most recent personal project? As I mentioned in one of my videos, I have hoarding tendencies, so I have basically decided to curb it and work on it. So I have started getting rid of things that before I would have found really difficult to do, especially the newspaper and magazine clippings and like little personal notes that I used to write. It didn't make sense to me to have all these like pieces of paper with random things written on it, and I would rather really like to have it in just like maybe say one notebook or something. And I know I have plenty of notebooks, so it would make sense if I, would say sit down and write them all in there. And that's what I've been slowly doing. Also, I've been using more a digital version of that, writing it down on my iPad or my phone in the Notes app, so it's a little bit more accessible. Number 9, tell us something that you think about often. Existential crisis, and what is the meaning of life, and what am I meant to do with my life, and where am I going, and all these very personal, very terrifying questions. I go very much between I'm okay to I'm not okay. I'm okay and I'm not okay. And it's absolutely fine. I think everyone has to find their own meaning and their own purpose. So I'm still trying to do that. And number 10, last question. I think I totally forgot to mention all the numbers before, but hey. Give us something that's your favorite, but make it something oddly specific. So one of my favorite things recently has been to, when I'm clearing up or have been packing, instead of listening to an audiobook, because I haven't been able to read, or music, I would actually put on a show and just let it play in the background, and I'll be packing or doing something. I'll just watch it passively, still, watch it and listen to it, but mostly, obviously be doing something else. But it has been a fun way to kind of engage with that, and I've been watching The Ranch on Netflix. I've been on the most appropriate of shows, not the most politically correct, but it has some cheap laughs, some cheap thrills. It has been kind of fun. But also what I can mention is that when I feel very stressed out or just really need to like zone out completely, I would watch one of my favorite gamers and just play one of their videos. So recently, Seamus from w.i.t.c.h, he has been playing Fall Guys. I've never heard of this game, but it's just so fun to watch. I would be terrible. I don't really play multiplayer games, so I just play a video and it just instantly like changes my mood, and just I forget everything and I'm happy. It's just like content, I would say is the word, just kind of calm and peaceful. So that has been kind of my escapism. Lastly, say the first thing that pops into your head. There's a crane outside my house. There's literally a crane outside working. I think they're just lifting something from the rooftop. I don't know what they're doing. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you feel like you want to do this tag, please do. This is my kind of like virtual tag for you. And thank you so much for John for tagging me in this. And like, comment, subscribe. I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!